It is my pleasure to be taking part in today's virtual Florida and Georgia Maximo user group meeting. Thank you to Starboard Consulting and Cohesive Solutions for hosting today and for the opportunity to engage with this community. With a focused 10 minutes, I'll jump right in. Today, I'd like to share about a current training design strategy and development process we have in the works here in Penn State's FAM training program. The training and development is intended to improve common errors our stores group is experiencing with the submission of desktop requisitions in Maximo. The training audience is a specific subset of our technician users, but it will be widely applicable to other requisition submitters within our organization. To start, I'll share a bit of context about our organization and how the need came to be. The Pennsylvania State University is a multi-campus, land-grant public research university that educates students from around the world and supports individuals and communities through integrated programs of teaching, research, and service. Penn State's Office of Physical Plant, OPP, operates around the clock and calendar year to serve the mission of providing excellent facility services in support of the university's greater mission. Penn State's Office of Physical Plant are stewards to over 22,000 acres of land and 32 million square feet of building space across the Commonwealth. As demonstrated by these statistics, the scope of OPP's work and its impact to the mission of the university are far-reaching. OPP's FAM programs balances software, information, and knowledge to support the operation and maintenance of the university's physical assets. FAM programs includes the Enterprise Asset Management Team, EAM team, and FAM training program, amongst others. The EAM team, which oversees work and asset management enterprise systems like Maximo, EZMaxMobile, EasyRequest, etc., is primarily composed of 6 team members, 3 business analysts, 1 business system analyst, 1 application support specialist, 1 manager, and tangentially, 1 instructional learning designer, and that's me. The mission of the FAM training program is to advance the knowledge and implementation of FAM business enterprise systems. The training challenges we face are not unique to our organization. They are likely very familiar to other learning and development professionals, and especially those within the facilities realm. We struggle with a large user base to support an ever-increasing demand for training to support both internal team projects and larger organization and university projects, competing for time when others also have increasing workloads and schedule demands, lack of engagement during training, information and literacy gaps, and limited resources to do it all with. We continue to strive for excellence, which continually raises the satisfaction and success threshold. In the spring of 2020, the Buildings and Grounds unit of our organization required technicians to request task-related purchases for work orders, i.e. parts, equipment, tools, etc., mainly via Core Maximo or our mobile solution, EZMaxMobile, instead of the then customary process of physically arriving at our source counter. It seemed that this requirement had the potential to improve some business outcomes like less drive time and improved productivity. With the ongoing pandemic, this initiative also aligned with the safety measures for limiting contact and social distancing. The business process and the functionality for desktop requisition submission already existed within our Core Maximo environment and in EZMaxMobile. The DR functionality in EZMaxMobile had been implemented and training provided 1 year prior for all 300 plus employees included in the transition and rollout to our new mobile solution. However, at that time, EZMaxMobile was implemented in spring of 2019, technicians were not required to use it as their main method for procuring task-based materials. As the old adage goes, use it or lose it, and a lot of people lost that desktop requisition knowledge when it wasn't applied to their work. The requirement of buildings and grounds technicians to order routine task-based materials via Maximo came at a reasonable time, as simultaneously in the spring of 2020, we, along with other units across the Commonwealth, were preparing for a university-wide transition to a new financial system, and we knew this would require retraining of our users. The integrating of the new financial system afforded another opportunity since the rollout of our mobile solution to reskill employees on the changed process and functionality to submit desktop requisitions. I had developed 2 new training video modules to address the DR process and functionality changes within our new Simba integrated Maximo environment and our mobile solution, utilizing a micro-learning approach to both 20 and 45-minute long modules respectively, as well as multiple supplemental user guide documents. The modules and resources were advertised various ways throughout the organization and throughout the transition year to the new financial system, but unfortunately, they were very underutilized among our technicians. People want to be given the expedient answer directly instead of having to locate the information, interpret, and apply it for themselves. That type of constant request for expedient answers on a larger scale zaps productivity. As Henry Ford said, the only thing worse than training your employees and having them leave is not training them and having them stay. The lack of engagement and training has a real impact on our organization, but with every challenge comes a new opportunity. A little over a year after the implementation of our new SAP financial system and integration with Maximo, our OPP Stores employees brought to light some ongoing challenges from their perspective related to desktop requisition submission errors from technicians. After speaking with stakeholders from various sides, it became clear that submission errors are not a result of a single root cause. Problems are complex and sometimes related to policy or system requirements outside our organization's control. With the end goal of reducing some specific submission errors, we took a backward approach to training design. One variable within our organization's control is the reskilling and knowledge sharing of what is known and various tips and tricks to improve some common submission errors. From my instructional designer perspective, desktop requisition training and resources that I had created last year are still valid and currently available. The real challenge and the real opportunity is to get people to utilize them. But instead of pushing people back to what is already available, I brainstormed about what could be barriers for people with the former training, beyond the motivation factor or wanting the expedient answer. According to the American Library Association, information literacy is a set of abilities requiring individuals to recognize when information is needed and have the ability to locate, evaluate, and use effectively the needed information. In my opinion, the ability to locate and evaluate information are two critical knowledge gaps within our organization. Working from the desired business outcome of reducing some commonly identified submission errors, it became apparent that perhaps we also need to address some information literacy barriers, such as lowering the bar for accessing and evaluating and applying this information. Decided on an even more exaggerated micro-learning strategy with bite-sized videos and more public hosting of the resources. I decided to break the desktop requisition process into more granular bite-sized modules, which are to be 5 minutes or less, and focused on an even more granular objective, such as distinguishing an item or material, how to search for items in Maximo using the item classification hierarchy, and using a description search to find items in Maximo, to name a few. The benefits to these bite-sized, exaggerated micro-modules abound. The bite-sized modules help addressing varying levels of understanding. Individuals who are not strong technology users will benefit from being able to take small bits of training at their own pace and schedule and build the connections at their own pace. Revisiting the very targeted modules when they need a refresher will not overwhelm them with other details or information. On the other hand of the spectrum, users with a strong understanding can isolate certain videos of interest to refresh or brush up on and not waste their time in longer training on a topic in which they are already proficient. The maintenance of these smaller modules will be easier. Recording a 5-minute video is much less work than a longer module. While we're still in the development process, so far we have met with stakeholders, met with technicians, met with communications and marketing representative, and the organization's overall training and development manager, developed content, written recording scripts, and sent out the scripts for final feedback to subject matter experts, stakeholders, and internal FAM colleagues. Once all feedback is received and acted upon accordingly, the videos will be recorded and edited. After the modules are edited and ready for publishing, the plan is to host them on the university's media space, Kaltura. Plan to make posters for all the technician shops and potentially a flyer which can be used on digital screens in our organization, printed by folks who want a paper copy for their own reference or to be kept in their vans. The poster will utilize a QR code to quickly link users to the public-facing playlist of videos. Since the videos are public-facing, users will not have to enter their single sign-on credentials or two-factor authenticate, and hopefully this will remove an access barrier and improve engagement. Kaltura also offers analytic capacity for understanding how users are engaging with content. I won't know specifically who is engaging, but overall aggregate consumption data can be sourced for solution evaluation. I will also host them on our current university learning management software. But historically, we've seen that our technicians interact less with content out there. However, we see more of our staff users interacting with content there, so the content in LMS will link people to Kaltura. Plan is to launch the program in Q1 of 2022 and evaluate the solution in Q2. If you're interested in learning more about the design strategy, development process, or have general questions, I'd welcome you to reach out to me at mmd17@psu.edu. If you'd like to be part of a group email to receive a link to the video modules and sample of the marketing and engagement materials once the curriculum is live, please utilize the QR code to link to the contact form. Thank you again to our hosts and to all of today's participants.